So I learn by doing, I learn by watching others, I learn by interacting with other people and sort of bouncing ideas off people and asking them, okay, how have you sort of approached this particular challenge or problem, as it were. I mean, equally, I enjoy sort of going to seminars or conferences and you know, or coming into places where I'm giving sort of a bite-size briefing, so a morning briefing on, if you like, what's happening in care and supported housing around the national living wage, for instance, and how are other providers responding. So that's one of the ways that I learn. I do read. I don't read as much as I used to. Unfortunately, we're now living in an age where our phones and technology and social media, etc., take up a lot of our time. But I do spend, I mean, having said that, I spend quite a bit of time on LinkedIn, for instance, and have connected with a number of people. So I use LinkedIn quite a bit in terms of seeing what our competitors are doing, you know, seeing what other providers are doing, seeing what my colleagues who don't even work in my field are doing. So, and seeing whether or not there's any synergy between somebody who's working in the technological environment and care. And I think that's, for us as an organization, is probably somewhere where we need to spend some time and some resource looking at how we can bridge the two. But your question was, how do I learn new skills? So yeah, I learn by doing, I learn by watching others. I will spend time in other departments. If I don't understand something, I will ask. I'm one of those people, I'm never too shy or too proud to say, look, I don't know what this means, please tell me. You know, in terms of training, yes, this is always something that's on the to-do list, but is you know, there's so many other priorities. So I think bite-sized training is what works for me in terms of either a morning or an afternoon session, because then it means I can still balance the other things I have to do in my day, as it were. I'm always having a look to see what other providers are doing, and it could be in terms of as basic as understanding how they've achieved a good or an outstanding on their CQC inspection. And you know, people are very happy to sort of share information, especially when they're on top. You know, so when people have had a fantastic inspection, they're more than happy to talk you through some of the steps that they took in order to achieve it. And I think there's also that element of sharing is caring. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but within care and support, we might be direct competitors during a tender process, but outside of a tender process, there is a lot of sharing, there is a lot of learning, there is a lot of benchmarking, and we have a number of groups, registered managers groups or learning disability manager groups that come together that are made up of different organizations who sort of share their best practice and share their knowledge. We have similar training companies that come into Hightown that go to our competitors, for instance. And I suppose in terms of how I sort of maximize my networks is I'm always looking at what my colleagues in other organizations are doing and seeing how we can pull that into Hightown, and as well as promoting what Hightown is doing as well. So sharing a lot of our best practice or emerging practice or successes, and sort of just raising our profile as well, and sort of letting everyone know that actually Hightown is a player and you know, is an organization to be reckoned with locally.